All right, we are back. Nat Green versus Ryan DeLong. Nat Green is Southeast Q's, and Ryan DeLong is a local player. I'm not familiar with him. Nat goes to 8, Ryan goes to 7, and my partner in AZ Billiards, who is retiring, told me earlier this week that Southeast Q's that Nat was the first cue maker to build an extension into the cue. You know, you see some of the cue makers have that. He was the one who invented that idea.
Outstanding. So now we know who's behind that innovative. And I know it's catching on because I see quite a few players that have not only went to it, but they're really enthusiastic about it.
Have you played with the extension that you can get that you put on your joint?
No, I haven't.
Neither have I, and I wonder about it.
There's a few players that have that, and one particular player sent away for it, and he had to pay a pretty good price because he had to have it specially made for his cue. I guess you can buy them ready-made.
Well, he broke dry. It's a nice one ball.
And depending on the skill level, he could get on the 2-9. It sits pretty good for that.
Yeah, it's a.
Bring the cue ball down by the side pocket, and
are you just hitting it with high right, clearing the 6?
I don't think he has to use hardly any English on it. I think it's going to be naturally high English.
Okay.
He might have a little bit of right, but if I see the angle right, it looks like he's going to go past the 6 ball. If he can get about to the side pocket, he should have a real good shot. Well, he's drawn, so I don't know what he's going to do.
Oh, I don't know where he's going. He was getting shaped for the 2 in the side. Is that a Revo shaft he's playing with? It looks like it.
It does, doesn't it?
Have you played with one of those?
No, I haven't.
Chet's got one, the gentleman that just left, Chet
Yes.
Lottie. Real nice guy.
How's he like it?
He likes it a lot.
Advantages?
He says he doesn't know yet because he's changed his stance a little bit, and now he can't tell if he's playing better because of his stance or because of the shaft. Now Ryan just came off of an 8-5 win over Mary Kaufman.
Ryan looks like he's played this game once or twice. He's playing a billiard.
Oh. And the billiard here is tougher, but are you trying it?
Well, just because I can control the 3-ball too, I will probably do that. If I miss it, I'm going to be down. The cue ball is going to be down here on the end rail, and the 3-ball is going to be up on the other end rail.
Nat played a good safety. Oh, no, he didn't. Oh, I thought the 5 was closer to the rail. Now we had to check with some trusted advisors before the tournament because Nat has no Fargo.
Right.
And it was, how does this guy play? Everybody said, well, he's certainly not a 625. I said he may have been 20 years ago, but
right.
Now he doesn't hit balls that often at all. Of course, he'll probably win the tournament now. Ryan looks like he doesn't like this at all.
Well, I've watched him shoot a couple of shots, and he does look like he does have some skills, but I think he's in line there with your rating.
All right, well, let's see what Nat can do. Now he's got a little bit of an open table. You think he's going to have to try to get on that 5-9?
He's in the way there, so
I don't think it has another pocket, unless he can come all the way around and shoot it up to the top left.
This is one of these shots where if he hits this pocket speed, he can come down and shoot the fours.
Well, he's got it on the 4.
Yep.
Yeah, it got real nice on the 4. I think he's going to shoot for the combination.
I would think that would be the plan. He doesn't have to do much, just probably draw it back about 6 inches. He doesn't want to fool around and get hooked with the 8. That'll work.
Just like that. Yeah, he doesn't look like he has a huge stroke. Although I'm sure as long as he's been playing, he's got one, or had one. Ooh.
Whoops.
I see he plays with a Molinari glove. You ever play with a glove?
No.
Why?
I think that what I've found is most people that play with a glove have sweaty hands, and they don't have to clean their shaft. I don't know whether that's just a priority, because I know a lot of players don't like to clean their shaft.
I don't.
And so using a glove, you don't have to worry about that.
Well, we don't have to worry too much about clammy hands in Arizona. It was humid as heck out here, though, with the rain and everything.
Oh, I can imagine.
Oh.
I can imagine. Well, it's been humid down home.
Oh, yeah, I heard we had
last
really
month
bad
of
weather.
cold,
Yeah.
It's Are you familiar with either one of these gentlemen? I mean,
No. This shot is testy. You know, if I'm really hitting them good, I like it, but any other time, I don't.
I think anytime you have to slow roll a ball, the length of the table, even if it's only a 7-foot table,
Yeah.
it'll test your stroke. You know?
He's not going for the corner here.
To the side.
Okay. Or a very nice
Two-way.
safety.
Two-way shot. Maybe that's a good thing.
No, it's not a good thing, trust me. I realize this is the easiest kick, but God, it seems like your odds of getting anything that you like afterwards are so slim. Like that.
Yeah, that kind of a kick doesn't have to turn out in your favor very often.
Especially with that speed. The only thing bad here is coming across the 6.
Well, looking by the angle, I think he's got the angle to draw it straight down the table for the 7 in the same pocket as the 9.
Oh, you don't think he's straight in?
I think he's got a little angle towards this.
Oh,
I thought that set pretty good.
I should have not questioned. I mean, you've been there before.
That's one thing that's good about this game is not everybody sees every shot the same way. That's what makes it unique. I think he hit that pretty good speed there.
Yeah.
I think he's got the right angle. to take a 1-0 lead here.
You're just going to draw it back. You're not going to get the long rail involved at all.
No, I think the thing you want to be careful here is don't hit it too easy and chunk it. So
Or bump the
like
9.
That.
Ooh.
So you want to that shot. You should hit that a little firmer and draw it. So what if you're up by the side pocket? You still have an easy angle. This way you have bad things can happen.
There's that shot again, but I'd rather be shooting that than watching him rack.
Exactly, and he doesn't have to slow roll this. He can shoot this with not hard, but a nice firm speed. I think we all shoot this shot a little bit better when we can hit it a little firm. Like that.
Yeah.
Very nice. After all the tournaments you have done, watching all the pros, I'm sure you find that when these players play position, especially the pros, they not only play position, but they play the right kind of position.
Right.
They don't just get a shot on the next ball, they get the right angle so that their shot on the next ball comes naturally. And I think the amateurs have a tendency to strive to get a shot on the next ball and then look around and say, oh, how am I going to get to the next ball?
Right.
William White, Noah Contreras. Noah's a 600. William is a 582. It's an 8-8 race.
And even though they're doing that, you get guys like, I think of Earl, I think of Rodney, I think of CJ Wiley. It doesn't look like they're even thinking at all. I realize a lot of that is just how long they've been playing, but it's so refreshing. I mean, not a whole lot of people ever say, "Ooh, it's refreshing watching Earl play."
Yes.
Because, but it's refreshing to watch that pattern and watch how easy they make it look. And you come away from it thinking, this isn't a tough game. This is an easy game. I mean, look at what they're doing.
I don't know if you noticed, but I don't remember the man's name that broke the balls there.
Ryan.
Ryan. He broke the balls and he made the one ball in the side pocket. And then the 2 ball came around and went in the other side. But the other gentleman didn't see that the tip of his stick hit the 2 ball. And he walked over there and handed him the cue ball and announced. That's the kind of things we want to see in this sport is people governing themselves, policing and not waiting for somebody to call a foul, but doing it themselves.
Right. And we don't see nearly enough.
Exactly. So it's refreshing to see one.
What's he going to do with this 5? There's a combo there, I guess, if you want to shoot it, but I sure don't.
Well, I wouldn't shoot. I don't think the 5-9 will go.
No, I'm looking at the 5-6, but even then, what are the odds of you not being hooked on the 5 once you make the combo?
It all depends on the. I guess he's going to shoot it. But the thing about this shot is, if the 5 stays where the 6 is,
you're in trouble.
You're either going to be behind the 9 or the cue ball is going to be on the end rail.
Well, he's not taking much time. Well, of course, when I say that, he gets back down on it. Oh, that turned out real well.
Yep, real well. Well, he should go 3 rails for position here, but I don't know. We'll see what he's going to do.
Yeah, I think he's just going to go back and forth. I think that's exactly what he had in mind, but I don't think it's going to be bad.
Well, I think he still has to. Looks like he's got to travel 3 rails to get position on the 8 by the angle. If I'm seeing the angle right. You have to go down there past the 9 ball.
He's almost got to draw it this side of the 9, doesn't he?
That's what. And they decided to take a tougher shot, which is not a bad thing on these smaller tables.
He's looking like he wants to jump up on it. He didn't jump up, but he leaned up a little.
Yep. Well done. 1-1 match.
And again, Nat is going to 8, Ryan is going to 7. Do you have any other big tournaments coming up on the horizon?
I don't know if I think I'm gonna play in the one at the Freezers.
Oh, okay.
I don't know if that would be considered a big tournament. That's probably just a local, but
you're not going to Turning Stone. You're not going to the Open.
no, it's,
You going to go watch Moscone Cup?
you know, I went 3 years ago or 4, which I can't remember when. 3 or 4 years ago when I was in Vegas, and that I don't know, I put the curse on them or what. They got beat 11-2, and we had reservations up there for 4 days, and they got beaten 2.
So did Matchroom. They weren't real happy.
So, you know, I was a little disappointed in that. I don't know what it is. I think you're more in touch with those players than I am. It seems to be that we just don't play well in that match. I don't know what it is. We've got this new captain now from Europe. That's
Johan, yeah.
Yeah, and I guess we'll see if he's the kind of guy that can bond all these players together and make them a better team. It's hard for me to imagine that the players that we've had on this tournament would need somebody to bond them together.
You would think.
I mean, these are professional players that play against this competition all the time.
Right.
And I would think that the desire and motivation and everything would be there without having to have a cheerleader, you know, cheering them on. But that I don't know. So
I do know that when Johan retired from coaching Team Europe, the next year he wanted to coach Team USA.
Oh,
he wanted to prove that it was the coach.
Well, we're going to find out, aren't we?
Yeah. I mean, I expect it's going to take him a couple of years, and it's got to be tough because you've got a different team every year.
I don't even. I know. I heard on YouTube or something that Shane hasn't even qualified for this.
He will.
But
he's
he would
way
be a
ahead.
captain's pick anyway, even if he didn't.
Sure.
But I'm thinking to myself, well, the U.S. 10 ball, that had to be a deciding factor, wouldn't it?
Yeah, I'm not even sure that Shane wants to play on Moscone Cup.
Oh, really?
I mean, sure he wants to play, but it's got to be. I mean, you're playing on a team, you're representing your entire country,
Right.
and everyone expects you to win every game. You know, they figure, oh, it's Shane. Well, that's a lock. Oh. He was running out real nice until he did that. I mean, that's got to be a kind of pressure that, you know, if you're another player on Moscone Cup, you look at it and say, well, he's supposed to be the favorite here. I think he can get a win here. Shane, if he doesn't win every match, they're like, well, what's wrong with Shane? What's going on?
And we all know, we've been around pool long enough to know, with that caliber of competition, you can be the best player in the world for that hour. You don't have to win a match against any of those players.
Yeah.
They're all that good. So that is a lot of pressure on a particular player. And I think when you're in a team event like that, you put added pressure on yourself.
Oh, sure.
Because when you're playing for yourself, the only person you're letting down is yourself. But when you're playing for a team, then you feel like you're letting the whole team down if you don't excel. So I think that's added pressure when you're responsible for a number for your team. Okay, we got a 2-1 lead there.
And players at, I won't say our, but players at my level, we experience that a little when we go to Vegas for BCA or ACS. But imagine, you're not just playing for your team, you're not just playing for your state, you're playing for your country.
That's right. And until you do something like that, you don't realize the pressure that's there.
And the environment is...
And that's another thing. That's a good topic to bring up. There's a lot of mixed feelings about when they're in Britain playing in that Moscone Cup, and the way the Brits verbalize
the fans.
Yes.
Yeah, that's soccer fans.
And I found that they don't do anything while you're shooting.
Right.
But after the shot, they get pretty boisterous. Now, I don't know what your feeling is about that, but I like that.
It brings something different to the game.
Exactly.
I think it can be taken too far. And my example is years ago when I believe it was Daryl Peach was playing against Earl, and Earl started to get a little out of line, and Daryl reached into his pocket and pulled out a pacifier and threw it out. But he didn't, it's not like, oh, I forgot to put the baby's pacifier back in the crib when I left this morning. He had a pacifier in his pocket.
Exactly. It was a purposeful. But I think to a degree, pool needs a little injection of enthusiasm. Don't you agree?
And Moscone Cup definitely does it. But it's one event, and
exactly. And as long as they're respectful of the players when they're actually shooting, I don't find that wrong.
Right.
When they start distracting the players, that's a different story.
Right.
But it's, to me, it reminds me of golf. Golf's really subdued.
Until he hits the ball.
Until he hits the ball, and then they're yelling, get in the hole, and you're the man, and so forth and so on. And I think that's good. Those people are fans. They're paying their money to cheer for their players. I don't like the negative stuff, once in a while you always have a few bad apples, and that's going to come out. But most of it, and I find our sport, most of the people are enthusiastic but respectful.
Right.
You say,
wow.
I think we got...
Speaking of enthusiastic.
Somebody just did something now.
Wow.
What is your feeling about that?
I like it, and I wish we could find a way to make that more common, but I don't know, is he not going to... He doesn't know he has... Okay, I thought he knew he had ball in hand there. How do you inject that kind of enthusiasm into the game? You're not going to do it at a tournament like this.
Exactly.
You've got to get a whole crowd of people behind somebody, and how do you do that? Although I hate doing the, so many people in the game say, well, I've got something in the works. I know something is being put together that might be able to inject a little bit of enthusiasm into it. We'll see. I hate doing that. I hate it when other people do it, but
right.
I know it's just something on the horizon.
And we all know that change is hard to come by.
Oh yeah.
Everybody fights it. It was a nice shot there.
Yeah,
a nice
it was.
Combination.
Surprised he went for that because it looked like the 5.8 was wired.
Well, I was wondering about that. If that wasn't a makeable shot, I probably would not have done that. But being it tied up, I thought it was a very smart shot. He has a 3-1 lead now.
Yeah.
Right?
And he's the underdog in the
Right.
match. I wonder if, and I don't have any reason to think this except for just age, I wonder if Nat's just running out of energy.
And that's a possibility. That's people don't realize, when you get a few years on you, the things you used to do, like I can remember playing last year in that one at Skip and Jan's, and I played my first match at 11:30 in the morning, and my last match at 2:30 the following morning.
Wow. Yeah.
And that just, the older you get, that kicks the crap right out of you. Can I say that on the air?
Sure. Well, and even if you're playing match after match, you're focused, you're giving it your all.
Right.
You're just tired.
In fact, we were discussing that the other day. If you're playing in a tournament, would you rather be in the winner's hot seat, or would you rather be coming from the loser's bracket and playing match after match, or do you want that 2.5, 3 hour delay until you get your match? And now, can you conjure up that?
Right. Can you bring that intensity from nowhere? Well, this is a kind of ugly rack for Nat.
I don't know what he's going to do here.
Oh, he's going to shoot the 2 in the side.
That was a good shot. Very good shot.
And that may even get him over on the short rail to shoot the 3.
That one shot made this whole rack.
Yeah.
If he gets on the 3, I can't see the...
Well, he should just be able to draw it straight back like that.
Yep, he's in good shape. Everything else is sitting wide open. Now this is a shot you want to draw 2 rails out. If you use high English, that could have turned out real bad there.
I can't tell if he can still clear.
I think he can. I think he can clear the 5. You just roll up and then shoot the 5 in the corner. Had he drawn it, he wouldn't even have come close to the 5, and he would have been straight in on the 4 on the side.
So you were going to draw. You were still going to draw into the short rail.
Right. 2 rails out.
Is he going to have to come?
He's going to have. It looks like it sits natural. He can come right between the 8 and the 9.
Oh, okay. I always love watching guys when they map out.
Yes.
It's like he's calling his shot in baseball. Of course, it's only good when it actually happens.
Well, that doesn't look like it turned out.
No. I sure don't like shooting the 6 in the corner.
No.
Are you just going to shoot the 6 down here to the short rail and try to leave him on the 9?
I would try to bank it towards that pocket and put the cue ball behind the 9 ball, just like that. Worked out real well.
Yeah, that worked out.
This is one of these kick shots where it's like a one-pocket shot. You want to kick it 2 rails. You want to hit the bottom rail so that the 6 ball slides over towards that pocket. With medium speed, if it does not go in, it comes back and stays on the end rail, and the cue ball comes down here. Shot it too hard.
And he went 1 rail.
But it worked out all right. If he doesn't hit the 8, the cue ball's going right back up there again.
Right.
But it worked out fine. But he hit it the way he was supposed to hit it. Well, this is a shot here when I kick at this ball. I kick to hit the 3 or the 6 ball towards the side pocket. If I make it, I got a shot. If it doesn't and it hits the rail, the 6 ball comes down here and the cue ball stays up there.
Right.
You see, he hit it behind it, so usually not a good.
Now he's sold out.
Right. But you can see what I meant when I kick it in, because it's going to go bank right down here by the end rail, and the cue ball is going to stay not particularly behind the 7, but it could.
So what do you think of some of these junior players?
Outstanding.
Yeah.
I mean, I saw a couple of Nick, and I don't know who the other young man was that was playing him, but that was an outstanding match.
The first one with Spencer?
I don't know.
Okay, the kid that was kind of really full of energy.
Right, and they were both in black.
Oh, okay. No, I don't know if that was Spencer or not.
I think you're talking about he's a little bigger guy. But these two were the same size.
Oh, okay.
Nick and the other guy.
Oh, yeah, I know who it was. Look out, side pocket. You got a little funny on that.
I don't know if the 8 goes. I don't know if it does.
I think it does.
If it does, then he's all right.
But I don't want to shoot it from the rail right there.
Yeah, in this case, the rail is not your friend.
Oh, we hit it nice.
Very well done. That gives him a 4-1 lead, right?
Yeah, that's going to be
It's
tough to come back from. But the races are long enough that...
And the advantage is you can brake and run racks. Whereas with the alternating brake, it makes it extremely difficult to try to come back from that kind of a deficit.
And I know that logically, you can tell yourself it's alternating brake. He won 7 out of 8 games, so I should be able to win 7 out of 8 games. But
no, it doesn't.
Yeah.
No.
Try to do that with the pressure on you.
Of all the tournaments that you do across the country, if you had to pick one tournament that was your favorite,
Turning Stone.
Exactly. I've been asked that many times. What is my favorite tournament I've ever played in? Without a doubt, it was Turning Stone. Of course, I'm a fan of Mike Zuglin's anyway.
Right.
And he runs an exception. In fact, I asked him before Barry Burnham passed away, when he was having a lot of trouble, I said, would you be a person that would take over the U.S. Open if something happened?
Right.
And he didn't even answer me. The only answer he gave me was, Barry and I are very good friends, and I'm going to let it go at that. So, he kind of straddled the fence. And
right.
But I know he would do an excellent job just by the way he handles all of his tournaments.
Yeah. I mean, I think the U.S. Open is in great hands right now.
Oh, I do too, with Pat Fleming.
Yeah, and Pat's playing Turning Stone later this month.
Good for him.
Yeah.
People don't realize he used to be a pretty decent player.
Yeah. Well, and we had a meeting at the trade show
Right.
of the Billiard Media Association, and he had this 10 by 16 black and white photo. Wide World of Sports, Howard Cosell, Rempe's sitting in the chair, and it's a shot of a trick shot that was being done before one of the matches. And he's showing this picture to different people and saying, do you recognize who the people are in the picture? And they're like, oh yeah, that's Cowboy Jimmy Moore, and that's Jim Rempe. He says, who's shooting the shot? And people are like, I don't know. He looks familiar. It was Pat.
Well, back in the day when I used to buy a lot of AccuStat tapes, I have probably 275 AccuStat tapes.
I believe it.
Now they're not worth.
Well, but they're.
But that, with YouTube now and everybody
Right.
streaming, I mean, there's no need for that anymore. All they have to do is just turn it on. They can see any match they want it from anywhere. But at that time, I remember Pat and his brother
Pete? Pete? Yeah.
Yes. And we used to deal with them, 3 or 4 times a year. And 2 nicer guys. Of course, Pat, but
Yeah.
both of them, 2 nicer guys you won't find. And I had a chance to talk to Pete sometimes when he was streaming stuff and everything. And very nice guy. And I had a chance to see him play a few times in his earlier days, and so I knew that he was a pretty decent player.
Yeah.
I might not be giving him justice. He might be a little better than pretty decent.
Oh, speaking of Max.
Oh, there he is.
Yeah. The thing that I really, besides the fact that Pat is an extremely nice guy, I just love the story that, what he does is not what he intended to do.
Exactly.
The idea of trying to do something to compile stats, and it turns into this historical document of the game for, 30, 40 years? I thought his induction in the Hall of Fame was very well deserved.
Exactly. If there's any, that's the thing people don't realize is it's not so much the players that play the game, but what have you done for the game?
Right.
And he has done way more than most people have ever done.
Sure.
So I think it was well deserved.
Yeah, there's going to be a great field at Turning Stone this year. Earl's playing again.
Good. Jason.
Jason will be there. Jason, yeah.
I'm sure Karen Cora.
I'm sure she'll play.
Yeah.
Although she's got a 9 to 5 now.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Wow. Well, that makes sense. I mean, you can't. Women's tour has really taken
Right.
a beating the last few years. So
She's another one. Once you get to know her, she's one of the nicest people in the world.
Yeah, she comes off as when you're watching her play. She's got that scowl on her.
Yeah.
face.
She
Something
comes-
like me.
I didn't say it.
But you were thinking it.
But I wasn't going to tell you you're wrong. I've been on the receiving end of that scowl once or twice.
A nice safety there.
Yeah.
I mean, jacked up over a ball.
Nice
Right
speed.
to the table. Beautiful shot.
Well, if Nat's going to do something, he needs to do it now. Either that or he's going to play tomorrow.
Somebody said Shane came in last night.
Yeah, I saw he was here. I saw a picture Ronnie Wiseman posted of he and Shane.
Oh, Ronnie's in.
Yeah.
I haven't seen Ronnie in a long time.
I think Ronnie, he said he was going to play tomorrow, but you know how that is.
You never know until the tournament actually starts. But I hope they all do. I hope they all show
Oh,
up.
yeah. Well, Nat got the reward for the safety.
Yes, he did. Now he has to take advantage of it.
Now, do you want to be on the right-hand side of this?
I want the cue ball about where the spot is.
It's not where he's going to be.
He's
all right
right
there, yeah.
So if he's where the spot is, all he has to do is make the ball come across the table, and he doesn't have to do anything.
That works. It was a question of, did you want to draw into that hole or did you want to follow?
Exactly.
I want to get the open started, basically, and then we'll start.
The thing about the shot he shot was, if he goes 2 inches further this way, he's straight in on that ball,
Right.
reaching across the table. Not exactly.
And the only thing I can compare to is my level of play, which, he plays better than I do. But, when you're playing, you're trying to run out a rack, it's so hard to get straight in on a ball. But when you don't want to be straight in on the ball, that's when you do.
Exactly.
It's like, whatever I do, don't get straight in. Well, of course that's what you're going to do.
The thing I do when I give position lessons is I try to let people know before you get to that ball where you want to be on the second or third ball. Not just to get a shot on that ball, but the way the balls are laying, what position you want to play on the ball before that ball,
Right.
so that you can get where you want to get on that tough ball, And if you do that and you think about that consistently and play that kind of position, more times than not, you're going to be successful in getting out.
We don't have very many matches
All right,
going on
table
here.
2.
Oh, as soon as I say
Lucas
something.
and Jesse Johnson. Lucas a 620, Jesse's a 590. It's a 9-8 race. Table 2.
Jesse's going to have his hands full over there.
So who do you think the favorite is in the amateurs by what you've seen?
I would not be surprised to see juniors in first and second place.
Yeah, I've seen some good play by the juniors I have been watching.
Contreras plays real good, and this Lucas kid plays real good.
One kid I was impressed with.
This one's going to take too long.
So as soon as I say that I think Contreras might be the favorite, he gets knocked to the one-loss side.
Funny game, this pool.
Yeah, it is.
That's why we love it.
Oh, that's not going to work. Well, maybe.
It's not too bad. That's
Chucky is telling me from the rail that the final 4 are set for tomorrow. Let's see if we can find... Hey, Max.
good. Hello, young man. How are you?
I can't even find it.
Nice to see you. How you been, buddy?
Been great.
Yeah,
Good to
look
see
great.
you.
Look
Thank
great.
you. Looking well.
Gonna play tomorrow?
Maybe, I don't know. Back is a little sore off
Is
and
it?
on. Yeah. You guys live right now?
Yeah.
Okay. Cool. Yeah, I'll leave
I
it
look
to
forward to it.
Thank you. Yeah,
buddy.
hopefully see you.
I'd like to see Max play tomorrow.
Me too. I'm all about seeing the good players.
Max is one that you don't, he's not playing in every big tournament out there, but when he does play,
He's a force.
yeah,
And believe me, with that Fargo no alternating brakes, he can string a lot of racks together.
oh yeah. Nat just played a great safety there. 2 rails to bury him behind the 7.
I'm impressed there.
It's perfect speed. I don't see a way out of that.
I think he can kick 3 rails, maybe 4. He's going to come up off of the short rail, long rail side, just miss the deuce, and then back over to hit the 1.
Is he going to hit just in front of the center diamond?
I can't tell what he's going to do.
Well, that doesn't look like he's going to, but is that the shot you're talking about?
Yeah, he can hit a 2 rails, I guess, if he can get. He just misses that deuce.
Yeah.
He might have had it was a pretty good safety. He's supposed to get rewarded for that safety.
It looks like he just has to get to the 7. I mean, the combo's not dead, but it's dead enough.
Yeah, I think it looks pretty good. I think getting the right position on the 5 ball is going to be the key to this.
Well, you shoot the 1, get straight in on the 2.
Right.
And if you leave it there, can't you shoot the 4 in the side and drag?
And then, then like I say, that's the whole thing. You get right on the 5. It's an easy run out. But if you get wrong on it, if he gets over on this side of the 5,
oh, and he's running into those
then they're
balls.
running into the 8 or the 6 or.
And if he can win this rack, get back to 4-3, then he can challenge.
I believe this is the kid I was talking about.
Yeah,
that was
Lucas.
I was impressed with his game. He was behind when he was playing Nick.
Right, playing Nick, and he made a big
came
comeback.
back. Yes, he did.
He won a Predator Tour amateur stop out on the East Coast, because I think he's from Connecticut. And he won the Joss Tours junior event last year.
Yeah, perfect on the 5.
Yeah. Now, what's the key to avoiding the 8 when you're trying to get on the 6?
All you want to do, you don't want to be straight in on the 6. You want to have an angle. So I think he's straight in. That's just what you didn't want here.
Right.
Now you got to deal with trying to get between the 8 and the 7.
Because I don't think he's punching it over past the 8.
I don't know what he's going to.
If he plays follow, he's just got to hope that something good happens.
Yeah, well, I mean, like I say, he's got that little window to go through. I think I've got to. Even if I get out in the middle of the table, I might draw this ball.
I was just thinking Chuck would draw it.
Yeah.
Chuck Perrell, because he loves power draw.
Yeah. I just can get out in the middle of the table. That's all I care about right here.
It looks like he's lining up draw.
He's going to hit the rail on the sideways on the back.
Oh, he hit that
Good
real
shot.
nice.
Beautiful shot.
Great shot.
Beautiful shot there.
All right, now we got this match. Well, this place is filling up.
How many more matches do you have tonight?
I think this may be the last one on this table. We're going to play down to 4 on the winner's side, which we're already at, and we're going to play down to 2 on the one loss side.
So 6 coming back tomorrow.
In the money. You know, when I was thinking of where to put the cameras, I thought it'll be perfect with them breaking towards the camera. I never thought about the fact that you're going to be watching the guy's back when he's racking the whole time.
I don't know. I kind of like this setup.
Yeah.
That's probably the only negative thing about, you're watching the guy rap, but who cares about that? I don't need to see the top of his head as
Right.
opposed to his backside, and well, I hope you get a lot of locals come tomorrow.
I think we're going to have a good field tomorrow. What has surprised me this year is the number of players who play in the amateur event and failed to cash and come back and play in the open event. I didn't think it was going to be that large a number. This is going to be ugly.
We have some little stuff. This lessons with Jerry Bryce.
Looks like he's going to play a safety behind the 4-ball and the 7-ball. Except he didn't want to hit that ball. He might have left a 9-ball combination there.
Oh, yeah. From this angle, you can see it.
Yeah. Looks like he's going to go right off the 4. Funny, from looking here, it doesn't look like it goes, but when I look through the camera here, it looks like he's got a big old pocket here.
Well, and he needs to stop the bleeding. I mean, he's still in the lead, but...
Right. Trying to stop the momentum.
Right. You know, a tournament I really enjoyed was the one last month in Portland.
I got a chance to hear you, which I mentioned to you before. It looked like a great tournament.
It was.
I saw several matches in that tournament. I really enjoyed them.
It was a beautiful area. You know, when the matches finished early enough that we had a chance to go out and have a nice dinner.
I have not been to Portland, and I was stationed at Seattle in 1965. That's the last time I was to Portland.
I really like it. It kind of reminded me of that Sedona vibe, the area that we were in.
Yep.
He's going to like that. Ryan he missed that 9 bad.
He did. I was real surprised that
He's trying to cut it in. No, he was playing safe. I liked the idea.
I don't think he can see that. This is a tough rack here. Even if you got ball in hand, you're not a favorite to get out here.
This is one of those, I'm glad we're playing 3-foul racks.
This will be an interesting.
I don't know what to do here.
One thing I wouldn't be trying to do is make the 3. I don't know. He got far enough. I thought he was going to leave it in front of the side.
Is he just going to see if Nat will go for this combo?
I don't like that combo because the way if he makes it, the 3 goes behind the 6, and the cue ball goes. You know, he'd almost have to get down on the end rail here to get a shot at the 3.
Is there a way he can hit the 3 and put the cue ball into that pack?
Yeah, I think if he hits it dead on, so that it banks over towards this pocket. It's not going to bank towards the pocket, but then the cue ball will run down and get between the 5 and the 6. It might be a little more advanced than.
Well, I mean, even Nat had said early on that he used to play a lot better than he does now,
right.
But he just hadn't been playing. Well, he went for it,
so
and you were right, yeah. Where my thought was going there is, when you haven't been playing for a while, it's your stroke you need to get back.
Right.
His pattern play should be still top level.
The thinking part is good. It turned out, I think, all right. 6 is still a problem, unless you get down on the end rail.
Right. I think this combination is makeable, but I think the 4-ball, it kind of complicates things as to where your cue ball is going to go.
I think I kind of roll up on this and put the 3 by the 7. I like that.
Yeah.
He does have a kick, though. I mean,
Yeah, thank you.
Does he have a kick widthwise across the table?
No.
It doesn't look like it.
long ways down. All he has to do is hit that ball. I mean, the 7's almost dead.
Right. But he's jacked up over a ball,
Right.
which affects your accuracy.
Definitely not.
Wow, he hit it and made the 3.
Well, I didn't see that shot. Now he's going to have to put a super stroke on this one.
Yeah, he's looking to see if he babies it.
I don't think he'd have to put a lot of English on this ball to get it down close enough to make that 6.
Can he go across the table?
That's what I'm thinking. 'Cause I think if he gets down between the first and second diamond, he's got a shot. And I don't know if he can get there by slow rolling it.
The 8 looks like it clears the 9.
Yeah, it does.
Yep.
Yep, that's it. I don't know if he got far enough or not.
I can't tell if he can draw straight out of there or not. Okay, that works too, as long as he doesn't
Unless
make
it
it.
goes in.
Wow.
Whoa!
But he also left him a makeable kick.
Exactly.
But is it makeable and get shape on the 7?
I believe if he kicks this in, the cue ball is going to go down by about the first diamond on the side rail. And that'll give him a pretty decent shot at the 7 in the side. I don't think he has a lot of options here.
Yeah, I don't think there's any better option than just kick to make the ball. So, of course, he lines up something I don't
I
understand.
don't know what he's doing there. No,
What was that?
he was trying to push the 8 so he could.
Okay. It still clears the 9, doesn't it?
I don't know if it does or not. It doesn't look like it does.
Well, maybe it was a good shot then.
But it still looks like a fairly easy combination.
Yeah, that's what he's looking at.
It all depends on where he gets on the 7.
And he's not going to try to get shape for the 7 in the side. He's going to come.
I would definitely play in the corner.
He's not trying to break this out, is he? Okay.
That's good. All he has to do is get on the side rail.
How important is it to be this side of the side pocket?
I wouldn't even fool with that. I would play on the other side of the side, so you're not.
Yeah, because he keeps lining it up as if he were on this side of the
Right.
side.
That's where you get in trouble when you try to get too good on this ball. He's going to get.
That's not bad. He's awful close to the 8.
Yeah.
This is going to be a really big shot.
This ties the matchup, right?
Yeah, it's either 4-4 or it's going to be 5-3.
Nice shot, Danny.
He's looking at safety.
Benny and Singer report to table 1. You have action.
Okay.
Not bad.
Discretion is the better part of valor.
That's why I didn't like it on this side of the side pocket, because of what happened with the keeper. If he gets on the other side of the side pocket, it doesn't matter if he's at that angle, he still has a perfect combination on
Right.
the 9 ball. The only bad thing that can happen to him is getting too close to it, which he did. If he hits us right, he could billiard the 9 in.
He's got to hit it pretty hard for that, doesn't he?
Pretty nice shot there.
Yeah, but he didn't get a rail.
Oh, forget that.
There's no UFC fight tonight.
There's a boxing match tonight.
Oh, okay. All right, well, we're going to be 4-4. Do you feel more of a sense of accomplishment winning a rack like that?
Yes.
Yeah?
I think that most players, when they have to utilize all their skills to get out, whereas opposed to a do-re-mi rack where you just bam, 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 you're out. You're almost expecting to do that. But when you get these racks and you have to maneuver and play safe and use your imagination, and I think that really gives you, it's almost like winning 2 racks instead of 1. If that makes any sense.
Oh, no, it does. I'm a big fan of momentum in the match.
Yep.
You know, because it was 4-3 and he was shooting at an 8 ball, but that was a huge shot.
Here's another thing that I wonder about is all this technical stuff about the rack. You know, when players, I think you know who I'm talking about when you say that, they sit there and agonize over every ball being exactly perfect. And after doing 5 minutes of that, they break and don't make anything anyway.
Right.
I just think that sure, you want as tight a rack as you can get, but I don't think every rack has to be perfect. What's your feeling about that?
I want to see the players rear back, hit the rack hard, and go from which. I mean, I realize that winning a tournament is big. There's not, with the amount of money that's involved in pool, you got to scratch and claw for every dime you can get, win every tournament you play in, but that baby break, I
don't like that.
Yeah.
I'm not a fan of the soft break, although first U.S. Open I played in was played on diamond tables for the first time, 2001, 9/11.
Oh yeah.
And
yeah, I was there.
Yeah, and I remember I'm watching all the big bangers, Johnny Archer and all those guys, breaking the balls 100 miles an hour. And if you remember, the 9 ball was on the spot. And I'm telling you, the harder they broke, the less they made.
Yeah.
And about halfway through the tournament, Corey Duell figures out that soft break, right? Of course, naturally, he winds up winning the U.S. Open 11-0 over Mika.
Right.
And that was the whole key to that. thing because I know I played Keith Bennett, and he has as big a break as anybody. At least at that time he did. And I mean, he was smashed on, almost hurt your ears when he hit him, and he couldn't make anything on the break. It was just a brutal.
Nice shot there.
Yeah, that was an out shot there.
Yeah, you almost have to try not to get out here.
Yeah. This is just the opposite of what we were just talking about.
Right.
If you don't get out here, you want to go in the closet and shoot yourself.
Right. Yeah, they used the Sardo that year, didn't they?
Yes, they did.
Yeah. And Lou and Carmine were such nice people. I hate to badmouth their product in any way. It did exactly what it was designed to do, but the pros didn't want a perfect rack as much as they thought they did. You know, we want the same rack every time. No, you don't.
Well, you see what happens, especially since they've come with a magic rack, is now everybody's stepping up there and making 1 or 2 balls every time they break. I mean,
Right.
there's no mystery at all in who's going to make. It's you're going to make the corner ball, so you have to play position on the one.
Right.
And to me, that's just giving the monkey the cue ball and saying here. And I know I'm probably going to get some flack from somebody that hears that.
I told him I was still.
Weren't we just talking a couple racks ago about how Nat needed to do something if he was going to compete in this match?
He must have heard us.
Apparently so.
He's taking the horse by the reins, and
Ryan was running away with things.
and I know you've experienced this, and I think all players have. When there's a shift of momentum, you're rolling along, and all of a sudden, 2 or 3 games go against you. Now you get that doubt creeps into your mind.
Oh, yeah.
And now you're shooting shots that you would normally make 90% of the time. Now you're looking at that shot and you're thinking, boy, am I going to make this?
Yeah, that back arm, you start to question
Exactly. You start getting alligator arm, and it sure affects it. Down in front.
it. Just can't get good help these days.
You're missing a ball here.
Great. All right, he made the 1. I don't know what he's got on the 2.
He's got a shot in the side.
Just has to avoid the scratch.
There's no scratch here unless he draws it.
Okay.
If he puts inside English on this ball and just smooths it in, he can stay down there for the 3.
Looks like what he's doing. If he bumps it, he's going to
Very
really
well
like
done.
it.
Very well.
Yeah.
The angle he's got, I don't know if he can get back for the...
Can he draw it across the table and miss the 8?
He needs it, and a lot of people have trouble with this thinking, but he needs to forget about the side and shoot this ball in the corner. Because the shape is natural. If he does anything other than that,
Well, and your natural inclination, and that's what he's lining up. Good. You want to shoot it in the side because it's an easier shot.
exactly. The 5 looks like it goes. Is that your...
I think so, yeah. He made it. He's supposed to be out now.
Yep, it's... Now, I play this a little bit different than most people. Most people are going to hit this with high English and come down. I want to be on this side of the 5.
On the right.
So I'm going to hit this 2 rails coming this way, hitting like a diamond in front of the side pocket so that my cue ball is towards the middle of this table. And he's going forward. Okay, he got the right angle, but if he gets the other angle, away from the ball.
Right.
This way, like I say, I'd like to keep things as simple as I can.
He didn't do too much there.
He played this pretty good. We play position on the 8 ball and the same side as the 6 balls.
You're going to come all the way over.
Yep. Yeah, it's natural. I mean, he doesn't have to worry about it. And it goes in the corner if he hits it too far. So you can tell he plays bar pool.
Yeah.
Because that's your thinking when you're playing bar pool. It's, in the big table, you would never. But the momentum has really switched in this.
And what can you do sitting in the chair to keep yourself, when you get a chance,
I like to, when I'm sitting there and I'm watching, I like to play each rack out like I'm shooting, instead of just sitting there, feeling sorry for yourself and so forth. I like to, when my opponent is shooting, I'm saying, okay, this is what I'm going to do here, this is what I'm going to do there, and watching this. And once in a while, you'll pick up a tip. Maybe you would do something this particular way, and your opponent does something other than what you would do.
Right.
And all of a sudden, you're looking at that and thinking, well, that's an idea. Let me put that in my memory bank, and maybe next time this comes up, I'll look for that as an option. But you don't want to just sit there and stew and mull and get yourself in that negative thing. You want to be positive so that when you come to the table, you're thinking, positive thoughts. Sometimes easier said than done.
Oh, sure. Well, you're fighting with your own mind.
Yep. How long have you been doing this, Mike?
I went a long time without doing any streaming. I was streaming the WPBA for the year that I was on the board, and I streamed all but one of those events, but streaming was just getting started then.
Right.
Really, I've been streaming again just this year. Went to China and did commentary there a couple of times. And, I'll do commentary with Jerry at Turning Stone.
Right. How is Jerry? I haven't seen him since I was in Turning Stone. Is he doing all right?
He's good. He was here. He came out here for the trade show.
Oh.
I met him, and we were at South Point together. He went home yesterday morning. He is, like I had mentioned earlier, he's quote-unquote retired. He's retired from the day-to-day operations of AZ Billiards. And he has discovered disc golf, because he has a farm out in Georgia.
Right.
He has set up a disc golf course, and he loves it. Bocce ball, which I don't know anything about bocce ball.
I don't either, but I've heard of it, but I just don't know exactly what it is.
And he's always taking care of his property. I'll call and he'll sound really tired, and he'll say, yeah, I've been out working I've been mowing, because he's got acres.
Oh my goodness, that's a job.
Yeah, but he loves it.
Yeah, well, that's. I remember when I was at Turning Stone. I remember talking to the two of you, and both of you had said that he was retiring from doing that.
Yeah.
So that's why I was kind of surprised when you said that he, was. But he does it just whenever the whim hits him.
Yeah, he doesn't like going to Turning Stone in January because of the cold.
Don't blame him there.
He loves going in August, so he's going to go this year, and I'm going to leave a couple days early and stay at his place just to relax.
Some time, right.
Yeah. God, Ryan tried to tie up, and instead he just gave him a
And the thing about when he played that safety, is I understand him shooting the 8-ball over there to try to hide that, but what he did and didn't do was make the cue ball go in the same direction. He made the cue ball come back so that he had an easy shot on the 1-ball.
Okay.
He should have made the cue ball go towards the 2 and 8 so that he had a tough shot, and it wasn't automatic getting position. And the way he laid it out, it was automatic.
Right.
That's the tough thing about playing safe, is it's just not ABC. You know, I mean, there's a lot of factors that have to be. I don't like that shot. It might have turned out all right, but.
So you're just going to draw over to the short
Yeah, I
railing
think
back,
he's
or long railing back?
He's all right. But like I say, that could have turned out. I mean, it turned out all right. But the shot he had at the 3, he could have drawn the cue ball straight across the table. The 3 was hanging in the pocket. Instead, he just floated it down there, and inch one way or the other, and he's in trouble. You know.
I just take maybe 65% of the stroke.
Well, he wanted an angle, but...
The only thing you want to do here is not get behind the 9.
Okay.
Anything else is, it's the only thing that can hurt him.
Especially on that last game.
Or get straight in on
Or
the 7.
get straight in, yeah.
Makes for an interesting.
Are you drawing back and just settling
Yes.
for the long shot?
Yes, I mean, you try to do something crazy here, and you get in trouble. That'll work.
Okay. It wasn't the draw to the shot I was thinking of, but it works.
Yep. Drawing it back, you got lots of options. 3 or 4 pockets come into play.
Right, you don't necessarily have to draw it back to straight down the rail.
Exactly.
What a comeback.
We're in table 2. We have yet another junior who's running over
Jesse.
8-1 on Jesse Johnson. He's on the hill.
I just received an important reminder that I am stopping at more than just Jerry's on the way to Georgia. We'll leave it at that.
Okay.
I apologize for letting that slip my mind, but trust me, it wasn't slipping my mind.
It's just all this nerve-wracking streaming that's.
The funny thing is, I don't like traveling.
Boy, for somebody that doesn't like traveling,
Yeah.
you sure do a lot of it.
I really don't. But I love watching people play pool.
Well, I'll tell you what, the last 6 months, I've done a lot of YouTube pool and so forth, and I'm not here blowing smoke up, but I enjoy your commentary. You're very knowledgeable, and there's another guy that I enjoy that's from our home state, and that's George.
Oh yeah, George is
very good, very good. I like you two a lot. You're informative, and when you don't have a bozo in the booth with you like me, you tell people what's going on. But it's very interesting because most of the time you're right on when you're talking about your shot selection and position and everything. And the commentary is interesting,
I appreciate that
So
a lot.
we appreciate it as listeners and viewers. A lot of people that stream, I don't know what they're doing when they're in the booth, but they're doing everything except talking about pool. They're talking about what they did at the fair last week.
Right.
Their girlfriend's sister's, being pregnant or something, and I'm going, I don't think there's too many viewers that are really interested and listening, to that. We've kind of gotten off the beat a little bit here.
A little, yeah.
But well, this would be interesting shot here. A 3-ball combination on the 9-ball. That's always makes it exciting. But I know he's going to go for it.
And your opponent is on the hill.
Yep. Because he's in desperate mode now.
Yeah. And he was ahead 4-0?
4-1, I think.
4-1.
4-1.
Wow. If Nat was tired in the chair, he's certainly not tired anymore. That was Ravi walking by the camera. Ravi's, I don't know if he's still on the forums or not, but he was on the forums quite a bit.
Was he?
Yeah, years ago. Oh,
go ahead.
Not. It's going to come across sounding like I'm bragging, and I'm certainly not trying to. But last month was 19 years for AZ Billiards.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow, that's impressive.
Well, and you know that it was originally Arizona.
Right.
I went to Ann Weathersby, and I went to Jack Dudo and said, I'm going to put up a website. And I tried to get one of the newspapers involved, and both of them said no. And now I own one of the newspapers.
That's another thing I meant to compliment you on is the fine job you do on the paper. It's I know that is a very demanding job along with what other things you do, and it's probably thankless. I'm sure that nobody ever comes up to you and said, "Hey, Mike, great job you did on the paper this month," or interesting article you had, or something like that. In retrospect, they're probably saying, "Well, how come I didn't hear about that before then?"
The change I made this month to the paper is, with Jerry retiring, I took on a lot more work as far as AZ Billiards and the digital magazine that we do and all that. So I farmed out the layout for the newspaper.
Oh, did you?
Got a gentleman in Serbia that does an amazing job.
Wow.
So if you look at this month, you'll see that the layout is much nicer than what I used to do.
Wow, that's just shows you there's some talented people all over the world.
Oh yeah, he does great work.
I know this is off the beaten subject, but since we're waiting for this shot to develop, I recently, as of yesterday, had trouble, or 2 days ago, with my garage door opener. And it was just getting before we left, so I had to get it fixed.
Right.
My mother-in-law's over there, And so I called somebody, and they came over, and I couldn't hardly understand him on the phone. And I told my wife, I said, it sounded like it was an East Indian. And I thought, I've never seen an East Indian doing garage doors, And the gentleman shows up, and he was an East Indian, but he just had that. He was from Israel.
Yeah.
Very interesting young man.
Huh.
I mean, very interesting young man. He had 2 kids and one on the way, and he was talking about this country and about the way it's kind of sliding a little bit. And he says the education here is to the point where he is not going to raise his kids in this country.
Wow.
He's going to have dual citizenship. He's going to take all 3 of his kids to Israel, and they're going to go grades, 12 through 12 grades, and then they're going to come back here. But he says,
interesting.
He said the difference in the education system between the United States and Israel is that the teachers here, whatever the reason, whether it be pay or anything else, don't have any feeling towards the students. It's a job to them.
Okay.
He says
And that's a shame.
In Israel, he says they treat all the students like they were their own children.
We are done. Nat just made a great shot on the 9.
Very good, man. Nice comeback by him.
Yeah, it was. That's a comeback to be proud of. Get over to here. I will check with Chuck our tournament director, but I think we are done.
All right.
Chuck, I cannot thank you enough for
Thanks
coming.
for having me. I enjoyed it.
And,
I really did.
and thank the boss for telling me you
yeah.
had to get some work done.
Okay. We'll see you tomorrow.
All right, yeah.
Have a good evening, and thanks again.
Thank you.